You're listening to the Holistic Nootropics Podcast, your home for holistic, evidence-based cognitive enhancement strategies. And now your host, Eric Levi.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Holistic Nootropics Podcast, where we discuss using nootropics, biohacking, and nutrition to help you boost your cognition. My name is Eric. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. And today on the podcast, I have Carlos Lastres. Carlos is the creative director for Kaiyan Medical, one of the largest, most innovative LED light therapy manufacturers in the world. He's deeply passionate about the incredible benefits of light therapy, biohacking, and the integration of traditional Chinese medicine as ways we can all live healthier and more balanced lives. Carlos, welcome to the Holistic Nootropics Podcast.
Thank you very much, Eric, for the introduction and the wonderful words. That's right. I'm totally in love with the light therapy and the whole holistic thing. As you said, it's about finding the balance, and yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. So, I mean, I'm so interested in light therapy. I think it's one of these just amazing technologies that we've just barely scratched the surface on what we can do with it. I mean, already people are using red light therapy for all kinds of medical benefits. People are using, I've heard, green light therapy. But before we jump into, the specifics of light therapy, I wanted to ask you, how did you get into this field? How did you become so interested in really holistic health and then wanting to find this very specific place that you occupy in the field?
I'm glad you asked that question. So let's go back a bit in time. I'm a software engineer who specializes in design, and I have a master's degree in marketing. As you can see, nothing to do with light therapy, nothing to do with any type of medicine, right? Totally a technical online guy. Some time ago, I live in China. By the way, I have been living in China for 6 years. Then this company Kaiyan contacted me some time ago to give them a training about software and design. Then I met the CEO, Alain Dijkstra, super cool guy. And then he started to explain me, saying, look, we do light therapy. Light therapy is this and so on. And then I was like curious, like how this works. Is this really working? It's just like another trend and so on. And then I was playing with one of the devices on my neck. And the thing is, I have been with chronic pain on my neck because I used to be a quarterback like 10 years ago, and I got too many hits. So I tried everything to reduce and relieve the pain. Nothing works, at least not for a couple of days. And then I was playing with the device. 5 minutes later, I'm like, hold on, I don't feel pain. What is going on? And it didn't do it even on purpose. It was just like, put it on my neck to see what it is. And then I was like, okay, I need to know what's going on here. This is really working. I don't understand why. And that's how I got obsessed. Then we got this bromance, the CEO and myself, and we're like, you know what, Carlos, you should be here with us. And we work good together, and I can feel your passion. And that's why I also started this business. And I said, let's do it. Since then, I'm totally in love with light therapy, and I keep digging more. And as you said, we're only scratching the surface because we don't understand properly how are we absorbing the light. And we still need some time, but we're getting there. So that's the whole story, is really because I tried, it helped me and inspired me to teach other people about it.
And that's so interesting because so many people who get into the holistic health field, it's because they did their own, I call it me search, right? So it's always because something happened to me and I use this thing and now I'm obsessed and I want to tell the world about it. But light therapy is so interesting because, like you said, we're just starting to understand it better, but they've been studying light therapy, or as it's called in the medical literature, photobiomodulation, for some time. And, surprisingly, there's thousands of studies on this, and it's just, the technology is just now becoming readily available for consumers at home. So, you can take advantage of this, which I think is really cool.
That's right. Has been there for quite some years, since even the NASA started for the trips to use it. But then not so long ago, I would say like 20 years, start to take more seriously for the benefits for us. And yeah, the problem is that we are very, how can I say, we have like this box of perception, the way we perceive sound, the way we perceive smell, but somehow we still don't understand the light just because we're used to it. So that's why I'm saying like we still need some time. I feel we are not measuring the light in the right way because we are using probably the wrong tools. But we're getting there, and I'm excited to be in the journey. I'm totally in to be in that rocket. So yeah.
So in your opinion, then, what are some of the more exciting recent innovations that you see in the light space, maybe with a company like yours or just kind of in the space itself?
Yeah, so at the beginning, light therapy was like, okay, let's treat wrinkles. It's improving the skin. And for the people that's listening and they're not too familiar, light therapy is just shining literally light to your body. The same way you receive light from the sun, what we're trying to do is give you the best light. Red light has been shown by clinical studies to get absorbed by your skin, improve, and wake up the cells, wake up the energy, the ATP, the mitochondria, and then your cells start to do something. I said do something because it can be the cell in your skin, in your arm, in your leg, or in your face. So the idea is that the magic, the light doesn't do any magic. It's not like by the light itself, you're going to get healed. You are making your body aware by shining the light, and then your bodies will start to recognize there is a problem. So in terms of innovations that we have been seeing, first, pain relief, amazing with the infrared light. And then we start to go deeper, like, okay, certain conditions, brain conditions. What about depression? What about sleep? Not long ago, I talked with this wonderful girl, Susan. She was sharing me her story about how she got depressed after born a baby, and then how like therapy also helped her. So at the beginning, it started like something for beauty. Then it's something for recovery. And I was like, okay, actually, we need the light. And now we are indoors, and especially with the COVID and so on, we're not getting enough of it. And we evolved being done in the sun, in the wilderness, and so on. So it's getting amazing. I that's why I'm so in love, because every day it's like, okay, how can I use the light in another way? For example, I'm in love with tattoos. I have good amount of tattoos in my body. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a device to help recover after the tattoo session. This type of things, you just go crazy and creative. You say, why not? I already know how it works. I need some recovery. Let's try it. And then you start to hear crazy ideas from the people. And I stopped asking why. Now I only ask why not.
Yeah, that's a very fair assessment, especially considering, I mean, when you think about our basic biology, I mean, we are beings who need light, you know, like our entire circadian rhythm is based off of light. And to think that, well, you know, our skin does not somehow have a relationship above and below the surface with, with the energy of the light, is ludicrous. You know, because there's a reason why you are awake during the day and you want to sleep at night. And, you know, to be fair, the people who are shift workers who work at night, I mean, you have to really train your body. I'm not saying that it's, you know, that it's not possible to be awake at night and asleep during the day. That's not a good way to be. And typically those people have a lot more health problems than people who live by a normal circadian rhythm. But just the fact that we know that, you know, we are programmed biologically to work with the rhythm of the light just tells you that there is so much more to the story than meets the eye.
Exactly.
So maybe, maybe you can talk a little bit about, with your company, I know you guys have a lot of different lights. So maybe we can start with the red light. With the red light specifically. Actually, let me take a step back. before we jump into the actual products that you guys have, maybe you can go into a little bit, because I know this can be confusing for some people, the difference between the different wavelengths of light. So like near infrared, far infrared. Is there a difference between the actual sizes of the wavelengths, the spectrum? Maybe you can go a little bit into that.
Yeah, for sure. So in light therapy, first, the most used lights is the blue light, the green light, the red light, and the infrared, right? From the whole wavelength of the spectrum, then we got, let's start with blue one. Blue one, right now, it's good for killing bacteria and actually activate the cortisol in our body. So in the morning, it's good to receive blue light because it keeps you alert and tells your body, okay, it's time to be active. You gotta wake up and you gotta do something. Now, a big problem is that the cell phones, laptops, and most of the electronic devices have a lot of blue light. So that's why we have problems trying to sleep when we check our phone later. Green light is right now is being used for certain brain conditions and relaxation, and makes a lot of sense. Again, we evolved for so many years in the wilderness seeing green. You go outside to your backyard or a nice park, it's almost impossible to not feel relaxed or at least feel at peace. We're just programmed to do that. So we got those two wavelengths. Then we got to the red light. I'm gonna give it last because it's like the one with more benefits. Let's jump to infrared. Okay, in infrared, we have far infrared and near infrared. It's just the number of the wavelength, because the infrared can go from around 170 nanometers to 1,200. So near infrared is you still can see a bit of red on it, and it still goes very deep into your body, can reach the bones. But then far infrared, after a certain point, around 1,000 nanometers, it's already going through your body. So you don't need to be so close and so on. But I always just like to say the term infrared. By certain conditions, you just use a specific wavelengths based on the clinical studies, right? But then I like to refer to it just as infrared. Then finally, red light, and a good wavelength I would say is like 635, which has I like, and there's a lot of clinical studies. Is mostly will penetrate deep enough to reach your skin and in the tissue that, for example, face, arms, and so on. Then you recover from scars because activates the cell, and the cells get energy, get ATP, and it starts to recover. As I said, it's just be aware of there's a problem and we need to be working. And then it got a lot of use from wrinkles to improve the skin, rejuvenation, and so on. It's the most popular light because the problem with the infrared, which is my favorite, by the way, is that you cannot see it. So people think it's not working. But then that's why the red light got very popular. It's not because one is better than the other one. It's just because actually you don't see infrared light. And then you see a device and you don't see any light, you think it's not working. But the infrared light is amazing. Just that with the red light got popular, it's something that is very catchy, makes us alert. I see that strong red, and you actually feel amazing. So in most of our devices, jumping a bit on that, we try to combine red and infrared because the infrared light make you feel very good. A warm sensation that is created by your body, like internal heat, and reach your muscles. So you will feel recovered. So I will say, it's like a combination, right, of red and infrared, unless you really only want the red one for specific things. But we go in that way. Blue light is super good for acne and certain skin conditions like having red spots and so on, because cleans, make the skin dry, kills the bacteria and so on. Also for the mouth. So those ones are the most important wavelengths that has a lot of clinical studies and that we work with most of our products.
And when you say red and infrared, are you talking near infrared or far infrared?
Most of the time near.
And when you apply near infrared? Is there something to be said about like the length, the distance you are away from the light? Like you were saying with far infrared, it's actually better to be a little bit farther away. But with near infrared, is it, in red light in general, is it better to be like closer to the light source, farther from the light source? Does it not matter?
Yeah, it matters. And this is where it gets interesting. As I was saying, we still need to learn more. When we make a device, for example, a handheld, we're already thinking the user is just going to put it directly to the skin. It's natural. It's the natural user experience of a handheld, very close. So we don't put so much power, outlet power on the LEDs, because it's going to be totally in front of it. But for example, if we develop a big panel for a gym to recover, then we put a lot of power on it. The LEDs will reach further. The intensity is bigger because we're not expecting the people to be in front of it. People may be changing themselves or just training. They need to get that. The thing is, if we put too much power in a small handheld with far infrared, then it's just going to go through your body. And the idea at the end is how much are we absorbing, right? So we're very, very careful with the way we put it, and we consider the device, how it's going to be used, and how much power do we need to put. Most of the time, you don't need to be exactly close to it. But when it comes like for pain relief or muscle recovery, we have these flexible pads. Of course, you want to just put it next to the muscle and feel good and feel warm. So you can play a little bit with the intensity of the light.
Sure. And your company, Kaiyan Medical, I mean, I've looked at your site, I've looked at your selection of products. There's quite a bit there. And I'll put a link in the show notes so people can go check that out themselves. But I'm just curious from your perspective, what is the most exciting device, or the device that you really like get the most excited about?
Because of what happened with my neck, I'm in love with that pain relief. So I have a big panel in my house, and every time I finish my shower, I like to go there, just stand up in the red and infrared for a while. Helps me to sleep better, because I'm getting that red light that tells my body, okay, it's almost time to sleep. I'm simulating a sunset. And then I feel recover. Let's say I go to the gym or just have a hard day. I take a shower, and then after the shower, I like to put the panel. I have a big one. And then the first thing will help me to sleep better, because I'm simulating a sunset. So my body gets melatonin. And then I recover, I feel rested, and I improve my skin. But then I was also saying that from time to time, I like to take care of my face skincare. So I use the silicone Enduro mask to try to reduce my wrinkles and make sure my skin is moisture and smooth.
But yeah, I'm often trying to, with my own red light device, like optimize the timing of of when we do it. And I've kind of come to the same conclusion that you have, which is the best time to do red light is when the time of the day when you would expect the sun to be delivering those red light waves naturally. So like sunset, sunrise, I think it's really individual too with, I think some people can do it like right before bed and then pop right into bed. And then I've heard people who do it close to bed, it almost excites them a little bit too much and they have a hard time sleeping.
Totally.
I'm curious if maybe you could talk a little bit about the actual cognitive benefits that come from using a red light. So, I know a lot of people like have the panels and you can stand in front of the panels and you could, like I have a panel and I'll kind of do a whole thing for like 15 minutes where I get some on the front, get some on the back. I'll, put some on the back of my neck. But what is a good strategy for getting, some of these more cognitive performance benefits? So, I've read things about obviously improving mood, but then I think there's some benefits like I've seen neuroprotective benefits. So helping your brain stave off things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Maybe even you get some memory benefits. So maybe you can fill me in on a little bit of like how to best use red light for these sorts of brain benefits.
Yeah, excellent. Because we start talking about biohacking, right? That is something that I also like. So the thing is, when you start using red light therapy, you combine it with infrared. It's like a waterfall. You start to get everything. So first, you start to sleep better because you sleep better, you recover, you have quality sleep. Your brain is going to be already performing way better. Second, when you put your body again in balance with the sun, with a circadian rhythm, like in this state of, okay, I don't need to worry too much about when it's time to sleep, when it's time to be awake. Then your brain stops wasting energy and things like, okay, I'm confused. What time is right now? Should I be energetic? Should I be stressed? And so on. And then you start to give it like a break. And then your brain's like, fine, I can use that energy to concentrate. Then if you shine directly into your skull, then also activates the brain itself. I have seen in myself performing better in sports, performing better in work, and also I like to draw. So I've put I have like a cap, like a helmet. I shine red infrared 5-10 minutes before, and my motor skills are better. And as I said, the infrared light helps me to deliver, to penetrate the skull and activates the brain, letting it know it's time to work. It needs to be aware. We are actually working on some devices to activate specific parts, to even more biohack. The idea is like, okay, we want to scan which part of the brain am I using when I make a drawing. And then we set up that as a parameter. And next time before I draw, I put the red light. And while I'm drawing, then I shine the infrared. So I'm getting like, okay, I know this part of the brain is going to be using energy. Let's power it up. Then for conditions like Alzheimer's or Parkinson, it's the same thing. Part of your brain starts to shut down, starts not to working properly. When we shine the light, it's like, no, guys, you still need to work there. You got to keep doing your thing. It's like a non-invasive way to reach there and let them be aware, produce more energy. So has been the research and the studies have been showing a lot of good results because people start to feel the benefits and then when they scan, they start to see that there's activity. So I totally will suggest to people a bit of red light therapy before doing any type of let's say work, performance, skills, and so on. Doesn't mean look directly to the red light. It's applied, or you put it in your brain, or make sure you relax a bit, and so on. And you're giving enough space to your brain to give all the potential.
So you're particularly getting red light on the top of your head, on the side of your head, on the back of your neck. Like, where are the best places to specifically shine light, like on your head?
So in my case, because I made a custom helmet, of course, I get it all over. Sides, front, back, until my neck. So it's like this big helmet. But if you put it on top of it, we'll be fine. On top of it, your skull is not so thick, so you can reach properly, and that will be good. Also, you can put it in the front. It's just that it's hard to like wrap it up or put it there. So you just can have like a handheld or a flexible pad or so on, and then just shine it there. If you have like a powerful panel, you turn yourself, and then you put it like in the back of your head, and that will be fine.
I've heard people actually like shining light into their ears. Have you heard anything like this? And I do it myself sometimes. I don't know if it's working or not. But I have heard, I have entertained the idea of shining the light into your ear.
Yeah. So we shine it into the ears and into the nose. As I said, it's all about how much can you penetrate and how much can you absorb. So we have soft tissue in the nose and in the ears, and it's very, very close to the brain. Depending on the angle, then you can get a better reach. The problem with the skull itself is that you need to deal with the bones, right? That's gonna reflect some of it. So yeah, no, keep doing it. If you go to the ears, keep doing it. It will improve first your skin. If you have if you damage the inside part of your ear, will recover faster. And then, yeah, it's easy to reach the brain. So it's all part of the biohacking. As I said, we're also developing one that is like 2 plugs for the nose. Looks super funny, but it's good.
And what about the eyes? Because I've even heard that you can shine this red light directly into your eyes, but at the same time, I know people wear like the protective goggles. So what do you see on that end?
Yeah. So the thing is, it's not about the red light. It's just any light, right? If you stare at the sun or at a light bulb enough time, you will feel uncomfortable. Your eyes cannot take it. So the main thing is that you shouldn't be looking at some light for so long, no matter if it is red, blue, or infrared, right? Can hurt your eyes just the same way a light bulb or the sun or a bright light will hurt. So in every device that is powerful enough, we include the goggles, and we tell the people, please do not look directly to the shining light, just as a matter of protection, right? The funny thing is the green light is the only light that doesn't stress you after looking at it for a certain time. This was discovered by Dr. Abraham because his brother was having problems with migraines. And then one afternoon, he took the brother outside to the park. And then the brother started to feel good. And he was like surprised. What happened? We just went out. Then he found out that the reflection of seeing the green in the nature makes him feel better. And then he started to get, again, obsessed with the green light. And then he has made some studies about it. So I suggest if you want to relax or you are under stress, just put a green light next to you, to your working station or so on. It's amazing. It's amazing. We have the flexible mask that has multiple colors. So if I just want to relax, I just put it flat on the table and then put the green light. That one, no problem to look for more time than the usual, and you will feel nice. And again, it makes a lot of sense. It's just like written in our DNA. We just cannot override those type of things.
And with the green light, is it more about actually looking at it, or does it have full body benefits where you could shine green light, like on your chest and stomach or your back, and the effects are similar to doing that with red light?
No, the green light, unfortunately, doesn't reach that deep as the other wavelengths. So we just get lost on top of your skin. So it's more about looking at it in terms of list of LEDs. With laser can go deeper, but with LEDs, we'll just stay on the surface. So things that can we use green light, as I said, relaxation, like PSTD. We have certain devices where there is a light moving from side to side that helps people to relax and cope with trauma, but needs to be a green light because the whole process needs to be relaxed and comfortable, right? The device, we have been testing it with people that have suffered specific traumas or that has been in war and don't know how to cope with it. And it's amazing. It's amazing because they get control of their mind again in a good way. And it's so simple as shining a light side to side.
And is that the mask, the eyewear device?
No. You can use the mask for general relaxation because it's against your skin. But the device I'm talking about is just like a little lamp that you can put in your desk. And it's like a T shape. So you have the light going from left to right, and you can change the intensity. Also, you can put it like directly next to your eye, and then it helps you to improve your vision by going in different type of deepness. But yeah, for sure needs to be like looking at it. Won't get into your body. It's just the wavelength is not powerful enough.
Got you. And if somebody wanted to, purchase one of these items, I'm on your website right now, looking around. How would somebody go about actually buying one of these? Do you guys work with specific retail companies? Do you sell them yourself? How does if somebody wants one of these masks or panels or handheld devices, how would somebody get a hold of one of those?
Yeah, so the important thing is that we are the manufacturers. So what we're looking is people that have an idea or they want to treat a condition, and then we have the whole creative process to make a device specific for them. So if there is any doctor or somebody interested, let's say biohacking, I want to create a special helmet because I want just to improve concentration on people. Okay, then we can guide them from just getting the idea, design thinking, creative process, manufacturing, testing, and then go for the mass production. That's the first thing. Second, we have our own brands, of course, of products that have been in the market. And we also have the products that we produce for our clients. So if somebody wants like a specific product, we can guide them where is the best place to buy it. Or if we have it in our own list of brands, then we can sell it as well. But the most important thing is that it's not only about selling, it's that anybody with an idea or interested in the topic, they just can come to us. Even if it's just for fun to brainstorm a bit, how can it work? Or if it will work, that would be amazing. We love those type of things because we always learn with new things to implement.
That's very cool. And I like the idea of kind of like this mad scientist type approach to, like when I think about red light, the panel is one thing, but then I think like, oh, but could I use this while I'm driving, right? Could I use this just out for a walk, right? Could I use this while I'm just sitting and watching TV? Could I do this like when I'm up reading a book or like when I first wake, like all of these little thoughts of like, could I potentially design, something that's more user-friendly, something that really gets this in more people's hands. I think that's a pretty cool thing that a pretty cool space that you occupy in this red light market.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this has been great. I've certainly learned a lot. I'm continuing to just get more and more into the idea of light therapy as a real option that people should have in their repertoire. Like I always say things like this, it's not just about the red light therapy. It's about, or the infrared or the green light or whatever it is. It's about how you incorporate it into your overall healthy lifestyle. So like, are you eating healthy? Are you sleeping? Are you avoiding, harmful substances? Are you cleaning up your own environment? Are you just kind of overall incorporating a healthier lifestyle? And then are you also using the power of red light? I think it's such a useful tool, and man, like when you start really digging into the science and the medical literature on this stuff, it's endless, and there's just so many advantages to it.
Exactly, it's overwhelming and amazing.
Absolutely. Well, Carlos, this has been a great time, a great chat. I certainly appreciate your time. If somebody wanted to connect with you or keep up with you, where would a good place for them? Where could somebody find you online to connect?
Sure. First, thank you, Eric, for the opportunity. Amazing talk. If anybody wants to get in contact, then first can visit the website KaiyanMedical.com. They can also visit my website, lastrescarlos.com. And finally, you can find me on LinkedIn just by Carlos Lastres. You will see me there as the creative director. Any of those three channels will be totally fine. Always willing to help and happy to hear new and crazy ideas.
Fantastic. And believe me, there's no shortage of new and crazy ideas from this audience. So
excellent.
We will. I'll link all that in the show notes, and then when this comes out, everybody will be able to link to that and find you. So, Carlos, again, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for joining me on the Holistic Nootropics podcast. And you, listener, if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to go check out Carlos online, check out Kaiyan Medical, and also check out all of the information that we have on the YouTube channel and holisticnootropics.com, all about light therapy, infrared and red light therapy. Thanks so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, review, share, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
Thanks for listening. For more brain-boosting info, in-depth articles, and show notes, check out holisticnootropics.com.